Welcome to another exciting edition of the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. This week, in a special Thanksgiving edition, Rob, of course, is giving thanks to Amy Adams Strunk for being very dumb and firing Mike Vrabel. And Nick might be giving thanks to Jerry Jones' in-season trading ability. Plus, we're joined by the creator of Team of the Pod, Patrick Owens, for an exciting edition of the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Hey, Nick, how's it going today?
Oh, it's going. Big win for the Dallas Cowboys. We're definitely going to get into that. Just a very exciting game, and I am ecstatic, happy. And there's one thing I know my, priest from Mass way back when would really hate is how much I hate the freaking Eagles. And so I'm very happy that we beat them, hate them with a passion, and for them to lose like that was just beautiful.
Yeah. There was no way Aubrey was missing that kick at the end of regulation at all. It was well done. Whereas for me, Patriots won the battle. They escaped. They won that game. I don't think they covered, though. Always bet the money line. But we may have put the war at risk with our two key offensive linemen going down for injury in Will Campbell and Jared Wilson. Hopefully both will be back within 4 weeks, but we will go ahead and figure that out.
In the meantime, though, we got to introduce the creator of the Team of the Pod. We got Patrick Owens here today with us, who came up with that unique idea. Patrick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. So waiting on my royalty check from that idea. When's that coming in?
We're waiting on ours too. So
once we get a few sponsors, sir, sponsors, where you at?
Snickers. No, you should talk to Josh Allen. I saw him in 7 different
Oh.
No, we do cover the Bills, so he can sponsor us.
Yeah. Now, does he have enough time to play football? We're going to talk about that.
We will.
That's good for you.
So, yeah, we certainly will. And I think in just a moment, we're going to jump into Eastside News, and we're going to lead off talking about those Bills and also about Patrick's Houston Texans, who had quite the game this week. So we're going to get a little bit of insight on the Texans since we have Patrick here, especially since they are now they're going to make the Colts work for it down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and kick it off and get into some Eastside News, huh?
Let's do it.
Hold up. Get my stats. Should we start off with the Cowboys? Should we go for it?
I just figured we'd go in order.
Okay.
Bills was Thursday.
All right. So you got Bills. All right.
This is Eastside News.
All right, so we're going to kick it off with the Thursday night game this week. And, it kind of feels like the Bills don't want to win the division. They're still they did, honestly, I would be hard-pressed to say that there is another team in the league that's got a better defense right now than the Houston Texans. So, but yeah, the Houston Texans with the upset, 23-19 over the Buffalo Bills, and the Texans were pretty much in charge from the second quarter on. It was pretty impressive. They gave some scares at the end, which we'll get into, but overall, not the greatest game from Josh Allen. 24 for 34 for 253 yards with no touchdowns and 2 picks. James Cook got his yardage. He got 116 yards and 17 carries with a touchdown, but that just wasn't enough. Keon Coleman was out for the game because he broke some team rules, and so because of that, we had Gabe Davis coming on in. He had a catch for 22 yards, but otherwise didn't do too much. And they had to rely on Khalil Shakir. He became the go-to guy, 8 for 110. But the Texans, they knew what they could give up to the Bills, and they knew when to clamp down. On the Texans side of things, as far as the stats go, Davis Mills is just he might be the best backup quarterback in the league.
He is the Houston Texans Cooper Rush. It seems like he's just good for them. They've done really well. Solid, just gets the job done. Game managing quarterback. I'm very impressed with the way they played. And CJ Stroud could learn a thing or two from him because he's great at decision making too. So I think that hopefully sitting on the bench for a little bit might help him.
For sure. And I think we'll get CJ Stroud back next week. I think he'll finally be out of protocol. But yeah, 16 to 30 for Davis Mills, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. Mills was very smart with the football all night. Woody Marks led the way, 10 for 74. Patrick, was that something you expected? A Woody Marks? Is he a top receiver for y'all?
Sure.
Okay.
No,
sorry, I got that backwards. 16 for 74 rushing. There we go.
No, he seems to be.
He had 1 for -5 receiving.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah,
but no, that seems to be an average game for old Woody.
Awesome.
He gets you. He's good for 70 yards and no touchdowns a game.
Hey, that's solid. You need someone to get those yards. It looked like Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins. They handled the touchdowns. They each got 2. So yeah, it went really well. Jalen Reed recovered a fumble also, and just the Texans defense stood tall. They did very well.
They're very good.
They ended up with a total of 12 quarterback hits on the game.
that was fun to watch.
That'll make life hard for old Josh Allen there.
A little background story here. Patrick here is from the Houston area, so he's a big Texans.
Yep.
He's a big Texans fan. So how do you feel about your Texans? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
Well, I want to be up front with everybody here that's listening to this podcast. I am a Texans fan. I am not like an X's and O's type of fan. I can't really talk gameplay with you guys. I can't keep up with you guys. Is what I'm saying. But I'm not going to say my layman eyes. I'm more than that. They do look good. Their defense is scary. I would not. Well, how many hits did Josh Allen do? How many sacks? 8?
He had, I think he was sacked 8 times, hit 12 times.
And they kept showing when we were watching the game, because we were watching it together, and they would show that it's like, that's the first time Josh Allen's been sacked 5 times, and then they gave a date that was real far away.
Like years ago.
And then another sack would happen like 3 minutes later, and then that's the first time Josh Allen's been sacked 6 times. And
They
then
just kept going.
they kept going and going, and it's like eventually they're not going to get to a point where he's been sacked this many times. And he's a scrambler, and so he's not easy to sack. And they did it 8 times to him, and that's a pretty good team. Now their offense is a little shaky. Where you were just gloating about what was it, Mills? He had like a 200 yards, if that.
But no turnovers.
No turnovers, correct. But it's not flashy. It was enough to win the game. But yeah, they have to give up, 20 points a game for us to even have a chance, really, with our offense, which they're doing more times than they're not. So 6-5, is not the best, but when you start 0-3, 6-5 is pretty good.
I was going to say it was a terrible, terrible start to the year. So for you guys to turn around and even have a shot at it, do you think you're going to catch the Colts? Do you think you?
I do not.
No. Okay, giving up
that's
early.
That's my brain talking. My heart wants to say yes. I hope so. Hey, we haven't played them at all this year. We got 2 games with them, so that's 2 games we can control. How many games back are we right now?
You're about a game and a half.
Okay.
2 games.
Okay. I'm going to change my mind then. I think we can. We win those 2 games the way we've been playing. I don't trust Jones on the Colts. I mean, he's having a great year, obviously, but I think he's a little bit of a flash in the pan. How long can he keep this going? He wasn't so great with the Giants, and so I think his number's coming up. He's gonna start laying some goose eggs. We're going to take advantage of that.
Nice. Okay, well, hey, yeah, I think it very well could happen. And you also have a matchup with them at the end of the year, too.
Yeah.
So that'd be a pretty entertaining thing if the AFC South comes down to the last game. I think it's the last game of the year.
Now, do we know if that's in Houston or in Indy? That last game?
Let's find out.
Yeah, but they look the defense has been looking good all year long too. So for them to pull it off, I know we're supposed to be talking about the Bills, but they're like,
We get some Colts talk, so we don't really have much to say on the Dolphins or the Commanders.
yeah. But it's just cool that they got the season turned around, especially with C.J. Stroud going down for this many weeks, and I think he's got to be projected to be coming back soon. It was just it was a concussion,
Yeah,
but
it wasn't anything more than that.
And they'll need him because the Colts are going up against the Texans. The Texans are traveling to Indianapolis this weekend for round 1, and then they do finish the regular season with round 2. Colts
good
coming
scheduling.
down to Houston.
Yeah, we're playing the Raiders. That's a win. Chargers, Cardinals, that's a win. Chiefs, I think we got them. I think the Chiefs are not as good as they once were. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. We're gonna take the division. It's gonna be a tiebreaker situation, but we're gonna sweep the series. We're gonna get it.
I don't think y'all are going to get the division, but I think you're beating the Raiders for sure. And then if you split with the Colts and you beat the Chiefs, I think that Chiefs game in 2 weeks is huge because that might decide the 7 seed.
Okay, I'll say this. My brain and my heart is saying they will get in the playoffs.
All right.
And my brain is saying they won't win the division. My heart says it, but I would not be shocked. They got a pretty good schedule, and they got two games against the Colts. If they sweep them,
Oh, yeah. If they sweep them, they'll take the division.
which is, I'm not going to say likely. I was about to say likely, but it is doable. So unless Jonathan Taylor goes off, which
We'll find out.
yeah, well, but the Bills going through a little struggle bus there. I wonder. I mean, talk about the Patriots. They might be running away with this. We'll talk about them later. If the Bills keep playing like this, they seem to be struggling here as of late.
Yeah, they certainly do, but they might be a couple games back now in the division of New England, and New England has a tiebreaker for the moment. However, as we'll get into a little bit more when we go in depth on the Patriots, the Pats O-line is now going to be a patchwork O-line for at least the next 3 to 4 weeks. So there is an opening there for sure. And the Bills have a favorable schedule. They have the Steelers in Pittsburgh, but they should be able to beat the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is expected back for that, but they should be able to beat the Steelers. Then they got the Bengals, who might have Joe Burrow back, maybe, but they might have already shut him down because they might bring him back for a game and say, okay, we're not doing it. We're not getting you hurt.
I looked at it a little further. I think the Bengals aren't done yet.
They
Even
might not
after
be.
that loss.
might
Yeah,
not
yeah.
be.
I think because they're playing the Ravens twice, so might
That's
have a chance to take them
That's
out.
huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the Bills get obviously one more with the Pats. They get a tough one when the Eagles come to town, but they also have the Jets and the Browns. So the Bills are certainly going to be a playoff team, but by no means are they falling out of the playoffs, and they still have a chance at that division. But Josh Allen needs a steady receiver. He has not had one all season. So whether that's Coleman, whether that's Shakir, whether that's Gabe Davis, well, but even back when Davis was a regular with them, he wasn't a volume guy. He was a deep threat.
Yeah, and I rarely say this because most teams aren't in this situation, but they are literally one wide receiver away from being a Super Bowl contending possible winner. But they just don't have it. I mean, they have to get somebody out there, and I'm surprised they didn't do anything on the trade deadline or go get yourself someone like George Pickens when you had a chance to.
Yeah, Pickens is having a very good year.
Yeah, it's looking like a good buy for the Cowboys for sure on that. But yeah, Bills look like they're doing Bills things right now.
So yeah, like we said, they're struggling, but they also are a veteran team. But the thing with the Bills is part of their armor in the playoffs is playing at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo in the frigid weather that doesn't bother them, having their fans liquored up, jumping through flaming tables, going nuts.
Singing Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, doing all that. And then when you don't have that, it makes it a little tough.
Yeah, every third quarter, start of the half, but they all singing in unison. It's one of the most badass
cool.
things.
It is pretty cool.
You got to see, man. You got to see it. Don't judge.
Hey, if you were, the Cowboys were playing in Buffalo, go to a tailgate thing in Buffalo. You jumping through a table?
I'm breaking a table, yeah. You have to. Didn't you go to a Buffalo game, or you
I-
want
I've,
to?
I've seen Buffalo play in New England. I've never been to a game up in Buffalo.
Would you go through a table?
No.
Come on, Rob.
We don't. Us New England fans don't need to jump through tables to get hyped up.
Are you doing it because you think it's a Buffalo thing?
Yeah, it's a Buffalo thing, and it's a new age Buffalo thing too. It's only in the last 5 or so years.
What if we 3D'd you to it?
No, I don't need to.
Bummer. All right, well, we'll jump through the table, Bills fans. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I won't cheer for you guys. But that's cool. I'll do it.
And I know they hate the Dallas Cowboys because we robbed them of 2 Super Bowls. So
Every team.
Yeah.
Every team's fans hate the Dallas Cowboys.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't think we're that
Yeah.
obnoxious or insufferable. I think we're good fans.
Yeah. So we'll see. The Bills got some work to do. Obviously, they have the talent to do it, but you got to think if they fall short and go one and done in the playoffs, could there be a shock firing there, a la Tampa Bay back in the day with Tony Dungy? Could something like that? It shouldn't. I don't think you can find a coach better than McDermott for that team, but you never know. Owners get impatient.
Yeah, I don't think, especially with the new stadium going up, I don't think they want to risk turmoil over there. And Sean McDermott is a hell of a coach, so I would stick with him.
Apparently, that new stadium's causing some drama. Buffalo is a very blue collar place. The new stadium's going to be smaller, and they're also requiring. They're following that corporate trend that a lot of other stadiums do, and they're requiring very large personal seat license fees to acquire season tickets. So,
Welcome to the modern era, Bills. This is the way it is pretty much in all 31 teams.
which makes it even more important for them to somehow find a way to get one last home game
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah, they need it, especially with that crowd. But
that's Buffalo with a dose of the Houston Texans, which is good to get that insight because the team of the pod, the Colts, are going to see them twice coming up soon, starting this weekend. So we'll probably talk a little bit more Texans in a little bit. But next, do we want to go and what do we want to do? Do we want to go Jets? Do we want to go Giants?
I got the Giants pulled
Let's
up right
go
here.
Giants.
Yeah, it was an exciting game where the New York Giants ended up playing against the Detroit Lions. Went into overtime, and it was a thriller. Jameis Winston, always entertaining just to have him on the field. I love. Do you have a favorite Jameis Winston quote?
I remember one time. What year was it when he had 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns?
Yeah.
This wasn't a quote from him, but someone said he has 30-30 vision. I thought that was pretty funny.
That is pretty good. Yeah, I just really love Jameis Winston just for entertainment value. And he had a really big play. I don't know if you saw that where they threw it over to him and he got a touchdown reception.
Possibly the individual play of the week. He stiff-armed a guy.
He didn't look pretty getting him out of the way. I'll tell you that. He looked very Jameis Winston-y.
Yeah. And when you look at the breakdown of the play, you can the guy that ended up covering him, the linebacker that was covering, was clearly supposed to rush in on the quarterback, but then saw Winston peeling off with no one on him and did his best to make a play. Otherwise, it would have just been a pitch and catch touchdown. But
Yeah.
instead, he got posterized by Jameis Winston and probably got an earful today from his fellow players and also from the coaches.
Yeah. He's pretty well liked across the league, though. It's probably an honor, honestly.
People it is amazing the image repair that Jameis Winston has gone through from when he left college.
Stealing crab legs,
having some potential law issues when it comes to interacting with women. There was some issues like that ultimately got figured out, solved, settled. So you can clearly tell he went from someone that was very entitled, very immature.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he was back before the NIL era, we're sure he probably was given bags of cash to play at Florida State. All the top players always were. So he went from an entitled guy to someone that had to get humbled, which he did. And then he's learned, he's grown, and he seems to be a fantastic locker room presence now.
And I think he genuinely found God. Like, he went hardcore into the Christian thing, which is good for him because it has made him a better, person out there. It looks like it straightened lined him. Maybe having kids, the amount of
helped.
kids he's had.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm the Giants, I find he's your backup. You don't want to overspend, but you also don't want him going anywhere.
No, yeah, that's a pretty solid backup for sure. And in this game, I mean, not only that reception touchdown, but just in general, they look really good out there. Ended up taking them to overtime. Giants did a really good job about that. Got 18 for 36, 366 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's always going to get one out there. And then Jared Goff went for 230 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Very Jared Goff kind of game, just very basic.
But Goff didn't have to do anything in this game.
No, not much, especially because of who he's talking about, Jahmyr Gibbs. 15 carries, only 15 carries.
Insane.
I mean, this is efficiency right here. 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's on the rushing side. I believe he also had a reception touchdown. I don't see it over here, but he had a big game. I just know fantasy-wise, he was the guy.
In my redraft league, I had a crucial matchup up against a guy that's probably not going to be in the playoffs, but I needed to win to secure my spot in the playoffs. But he had Jahmyr Gibbs. 54 points just from Jahmyr Gibbs in that league.
Now, I looked up the record on most fantasy points ever scored, and I forgot who it was. It was like Doug Martin or someone. Jamal Charles was up there, too. This is just non-PPR format,
Right.
But they scored 54 points. That's a record.
So my league's a PPR league. So yeah.
He was close, though.
Could you? This is off track, but could you imagine if fantasy football like it is today was around for Bo Jackson?
Oh, man, just would have killed it. Now, I mean, it was around, but it was all pen and paper back then, right?
Yeah. It was the league commissioner somehow always would win the waiver wire and win most weeks.
Yeah, some shady stuff going on here, not going through Sleeper or ESPN like people do now.
Love Sleeper fantasy.
Yeah, and then outside of that, I mean, Tyrone Tracy did pretty good, 22 carries for 89 yards.
He's quietly had a good year.
Yeah, he's doing really good. He had to step it up for Scadaboo, but I don't think he's ever going to get to Scadaboo's level just on talent-wise. Maybe he could beat him on an IQ test, but that's about as far as we can go. But, yeah, and then total points scored, like I said, it was 27-34. Ended up taking the Lions to overtime, which a lot has to be said about that.
The Lions had to come back in this game. They were down in the fourth quarter. They were down most of the game. The Lions didn't deserve to win. I think maybe the Giants were like, oh, crap, we need the draft pick. Let's slow this up a little bit.
Right.
And the Lions got a lot to play for because they're not in the playoffs right now.
No, they're smack dab middle of the hunt, and right there behind them now is the Dallas Cowboys, too. So that in a couple of weeks, they're going to have a big game, and they're playing Green Bay next week for the Thanksgiving game. So
which is going to be huge. And honestly, it's the coaches, and this is a hot take, but Dan Campbell is letting his team down with some of his play calling. If he would take some of the more obvious points throughout the year, they would be comfortable in the playoffs right now. He's cost his team a couple games and seems to have no remorse for it.
None whatsoever. But yeah, another big game was Wendell Robinson. I like his play, by the way. I always have 9 receptions, 162 yards, 1 touchdown. But yeah, it was a pretty good game. Giants put up a big fight. They played over at Detroit. That's not an easy place to play, and I think they're just looking for moral victories, trying to get as many draft picks as possible.
As they should.
And
for that new coach is going to come
in. Yeah, and I don't know if Kafka's trying to keep his job, and I think games like that could help, but I don't think he's going to end up keeping his job.
Yeah, and typically teams don't go with the interim, and when they do, it doesn't go well. But Patrick, do you have since it is a Thanksgiving episode, do you have a fun fact about the Lions and Thanksgiving?
You're looking at my computer right now.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, I was just curious why the Lions play every Thanksgiving.
Why do they play every
You didn't know?
Thanksgiving?
Cowboys play everything?
We do,
They do.
yeah.
But why do the Lions play every
Well, they've
Thanksgiving?
been playing every Thanksgiving game since 1934, almost 100 years. And according to my AI-assisted information here, it was to attract more fans to their games, capitalizing on the holiday when many people have.
That's smart.
Yes.
And I know the Cowboys picked it up in the 60s. Tex Schramm just wanted to get that slot. He saw how big the Thanksgiving game was going to be, so he
Smart.
did the same thing. And at the time, he was mocked for doing it, and now NFL teams are begging to get a Thanksgiving game. And I don't think the Cowboys or Lions are ever giving it up.
No, they're certainly not. And honestly, way back in the day when the AFC and AFL and NFL merged, the AFL probably would have been smart if they had made sure that they got a standalone Thanksgiving game. And now pretty much never going to have one.
Yeah. Well, now they get like the primetime random game. I know there's always 3 games
But
now.
it doesn't have the tradition and the excitement that,
I had one time we were up in Missouri, visiting my family. Sorry, family. And they had the audacity to tell us we should all gather around and talk and not have the game on in the background.
Oh, no, the game stays on in the background.
Like, we're from Dallas. That's not an option.
even those of us that are fans of other sports teams, that even when if you sit down to whenever you sit down to eat, if the game's on, it might be on in the other room, but you leave it on and you leave the sound on so you can kind of like pop in and check on it, and it's part of the soundtrack of the day. It is the soundtrack of the
It's
day.
like the Macy's parade. You get that, and then you get the Cowboys. Although I don't watch Macy's parade, but
I don't regularly watch it either.
I'm learning something new about you guys.
do you watch Macy's parade?
No. It's on though.
Oh, but you have it on at least. That's
it's
that's
on,
tradition.
but football's not on at my parents' house. So
They don't allow it.
it's not that they don't allow. It's just they don't care, and so like I would be the only one watching it, and it just becomes weird. So I just say I don't watch football.
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
well, even if the Texans are on
Have they ever been on a Thanksgiving?
a primetime game,
Probably
I'm
not.
sure. I'm just guessing. Yeah.
I don't recall that ever being.
And they haven't been around that long, so
I'm sure if they were, I could force it a little
Or-
bit. I don't recall that ever being a situation.
back in 2020 and 2012
2020,
against the Lions.
not that far ago.
Not that long ago.
Yeah.
Maybe I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a question or an answer for you guys talking about the best fantasy game ever, and I don't know if fantasy was any version a thing in 1990.
Oh yeah, old school.
Jerry Rice once had 13 receptions for 225 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns for 65.5 points.
Yeah, it's an alright game.
That's pretty good.
He did okay.
I feel someone like Jerry Rice even today.
Kind of overrated, Jerry Rice.
I feel like even today, Jerry Rice could suit up not for a game. You could get him suited up for one play, and he could still probably make that cut and make the catch.
Yeah, it would be a slower route. He wasn't even the super fast wide receiver
He
even back
just-
then, right? Just a
He
route
was
runner.
fast enough, but he could run his routes.
Yeah, and just hit it on the
And
the
I don't know if he dropped balls nearly as often as CeeDee Lamb when he plays.
Whew, yeah,
plays
we'll
the
get into
Eagles.
that. That was frustrating as hell, I'll tell you that. But pulled through in spite of it, and he even had a big catch to get us back into the game. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got on the Giants. It was a great game, very exciting game to watch if you had the chance to watch it. I mean, Jameis Winston makes me want to watch the Giants again. And now with the Lions, the chase is on for the playoffs. See if they can get back into this thing. I think they're right now in the playoffs, but
they might be now after this weekend. But going into the weekend, they were not.
yeah, and so they need to start winning, and they need to start winning now. And that one had to happen for sure.
It did. So next up, we'll talk about the Jets. Not a lot of I think we'll go Jets, Pats, and finish with Cowboys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Because you got Cowboys and Eagles together, so that's perfect.
Mhm.
So the Jets actually were giving the Ravens a game in the first half. At halftime, they were up 7-3. It's just, I know the Ravens are now in the lead for the division, and someone's got to win the North. But even pre-injury, when Lamar was healthy, they had a few national games. I follow Lamar a lot. He's my dynasty starter. And their offense has been pretty non-functional all year. They're just kind of throwing Lamar up against everyone, not really giving him a chance to succeed. And it's continuing here while he also has an injury. He's dealing with some sort of toe injury right now. We're recording on a Monday. He didn't practice today, but Harbaugh's like, oh, he'll be fine for the weekend. They're at this point, I mean, Lamar doesn't need to practice every day, but he's been out for a little bit, so we need to knock some rust off. But the Jets, who traded away their 2 top defenders, were in this game for a while and only ended up eventually giving up 23 points to the Ravens. Had a little bit of a fantasy theme this week. Lamar Jackson had single-digit fantasy points against the Jets.
That's pretty
Even
bad.
hobbled, it's like, oh my goodness, what is going on? So
Hey, you couldn't have.
whoever ultimately wins the division in the AFC North, they're going to be the only team in, and they'll get a home game, and then they'll be done. The Ravens defense is not that good. Tyrod Taylor somehow scored points on them, and their offense is not that functional. So I think big changes are probably brewing in Baltimore.
Now, I will say their defense was playing a lot better than it was in the beginning of the year because that was
it's improved.
trash.
It has
was
improved.
Trash. I wouldn't vote most improved defense, and I think I'll save that vote for later in the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a really, really bad. They had a bad start to it. So they went with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, they've benched Fields. Some reporters were asking Fields how he felt. He's like, not great, but what are you going to do about it? Like, he's still collecting his game check. He knew this was coming. He knew Justin Fields was he had less room to work with than Jared Goff does, less room to work with than Michael Penix and some of the other starters that we always complain about is not being that good. Because this is stop number 3, and he was in New York, and sure enough, he hasn't played that well, even when Garrett Wilson was healthy. And so Tyrod Taylor came in 17 of 28 for 222 with a touchdown and a pick. So functional numbers. Breece Hall, though, so they said, all right, go ahead. You can throw it. Baltimore said, throw it on us. Fine, but you're not going to run it on us. And they were right. Breece Hall, 16 for 44. Taylor was the second leading rusher, 5 for 19. So nothing really going there. Breece Hall was the Jets' leading receiver, so that's pretty much just on checkdowns, 4 for 75. John Mechie III got the former Texan, right? John Mechie? I think he was. 6 for 65 with a touchdown. But the Jets they're going nowhere fast, but they have a chance if the front office can either figure it out or they can get a new front office in place. The Jets have a chance to really make a splash this offseason.
Yeah. Well, they've got their future is really bright. I would actually buy Jets stock now because I'm going to buy them on the dip because with that 5 first-round draft picks in the next 2 years, I think that was a great haul to go get that and retool that team and get that thing back up and running.
For sure.
He was on the Texans.
He was awesome. I think one thing, though, with the Jets, don't reach for a quarterback in the first round of this draft.
Nope.
There is not a solid quarterback. Get one a little bit later. Go sign you or trade for a Kirk Cousins, or maybe now next year when you get a chance to bring him in cheap, bring in a Shadur, or maybe even Dylan Gabriel, and keep the rebuild going if you're the Jets.
Build your line first. That's my number one thing. Always build your offensive line, defensive line. If I was ever retooling a team, that's what you build. That creates the base, and then you put in the quarterback after that and fill in the skill positions and cornerbacks and things like that later in the draft.
Long snapper all the way.
No. First round draft pick, huh?
Yeah.
One. But, that's, but.
Who's your favorite long snapper? Oh, interesting.
But, a lot of people will say, like, the Bengals did make that Super Bowl. The Bengals made one Super Bowl in the Joe Burrow era, but the biggest thing is they haven't been able to keep him healthy because they made a decision to go get instead of bringing in line help, they brought in his favorite receiver from college instead, who's a fantastic receiver.
Really good.
But the Bengals haven't had a functional line. I don't remember the last time, if ever, Joe Burrow's made it through a whole NFL season not hurt.
Yeah, and it's mainly because of that, because he can actually manipulate the pocket very well. I think he's great at doing that, preventing sacks and then actually creating big plays with a crappy offensive line. But you nailed it. I mean, if you get hit over and over and over again, these injuries are going to pile up. He's on his third chance to win comeback player of the year.
Which you should be ineligible after a while.
Yeah. After a while, it's just not a comeback. It's just who you are. Yeah. And I think Joe Burrow, he could bounce back next year. I think it'd be great, but they do need to build that offensive line.
And Chase is fantastic, but you could have survived with T. Higgins as your number one and some other guys and bulked up that line, and Cincinnati probably has a ring right now at some point. If not, at least a second Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, and there was this line that I really liked with Tony Romo and Matt Ryan. One time they were talking about which one would you rather have? Would you rather have skill positions or offensive line?
Yeah.
And Matt Ryan was saying skill positions all day. I could figure it out after that. And Tony Romo said, when I first started the league, I thought just like you. And then they gave me a line, and I was like 10 times better. It's not even close. When you actually have an offensive line, it makes your job 10 times easier. So it's going to benefit them big time.
You guys remind me, when did the NFL go to 17 games?
That had to be 2022? Am I right? Why?
I'm not sure because Joe Burrow played every game last year, and he played 16 games in 2022 and 2021.
They could have benched him because they already won the division.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, when he's reliable when he's not hurt, but yeah, he's got 10 games his first year, then 10 games his fourth year, and then 2 games this year. And then the other games, other seasons, looks like he's played every game.
Who's this? Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Talk about his reliability.
Yeah, he's
Best ability though. Is reliability.
That's right. That's right.
Availability.
Really like it. So yeah, that's the Jets, right? we ended up more Bengals than the Jets, but I love it. But the Jets doing what they do, and they're just going to keep on struggling. Good luck. Go get those draft picks, Jets, because that's what you're going to be focusing on this year.
And hopefully have a front office that can make it work. But don't do anything dumb. I think you do have the right coach in place. Give him at least 2 more years.
With Aaron Glenn, yeah, he's a pretty good coach.
If you let him go, Pats will take him as a DC.
Yeah, no, he's an excellent DC. I can attest to that. And so can the Lions, right?
But yeah, so not too exciting about the Jets, and there's not going to be a lot of excitement about the Jets going forward. But we'll still talk about them every week, and in a few weeks we can start like hypothesizing what draft pick they'll end up with, and then who they might be targeting in that spot. So it'll go from excitement about games to excitement about the future for the Jets. But as far as being excited about the future, for the New England Patriots, the future is right now.
Right. They were on looks like they won the battle, but might have lost the war after this game. A lot of big injuries.
A lot of big injuries. I gotta say, the league needs to look into that field for the Bengals, because besides both linemen, we also had Hunter Henry get hurt at one point. He finished the game. Brendan Schooler, who is Hook'em Horns, lifetime Longhorn, and our best special teams player is down and out as well. There were several injuries on both sides. At one point, T. Higgins towards the end of the game took a real bad head bouncing off the turf. That was more of just sheer not unluckiness, but the volume of injuries was unbelievably impressive. Bengals were also playing a little dirty throughout the game.
I mean, that's the only way that defense could play. Now, I heard from Bengals fans, they're mad at you, too, the Patriots, because they were complaining about not getting holding calls. I didn't get a good eye on that. But
was the game in Foxborough?
No, it was in the Bengals.
Yeah, so Bengals fans, get right. It was a home game.
But, yeah, I mean, look, Bengals have become this laughing stock, but the fact of the matter is their offense, for the most part, has been pretty solid. Ever since they got Joe Flacco back, it looks like it's running a little bit more smooth, and the Patriots did a good job at least capitalize on that. I'd be a little concerned. With not scoring more, making it spread out some point, get some more points against that team, because right now they used to be competing with the Cowboys as the worst defense in the league, and the Cowboys made some changes, so I don't think that's happening anymore.
They did.
It looks like it's going to be the Bengals.
The Pats just, and I've said throughout the season, the Pats, again, thank you, Amy Adams Strunk. You let us get Mike Vrabel. Can never thank you enough. But the Patriots, they're a very young team. They are ahead of schedule. They are building a culture. They're getting things going. But you know what? Mike Vrabel knows how to build a culture. He knows how to build a winning team. He brought Josh McDaniels back home, which has been a godsend for Drake May. And May had a very slow start this game. The Patriots have notoriously started slow all season, and they started slow again. But he finished 22 of 35 for 294, which I believe is his highest total of his career at this point, definitely of the year. He had 1 touchdown. He did have 1 pick. It wasn't a good pick either. It was a pick 6. But you want to know, I'm throwing this at you unprompted. Who is that other Patriots player that I just keep singing high praises for?
Well, you got the kicker. I know you like him.
I do like the kicker. He's still doing well.
Gonzalez.
Yep.
Trayvon Henderson's another big one.
Yep. Who had a rough game, but Henderson's flashy, but I think this goes back to the line with them is he's not getting a ton of yards, and he can move.
Yeah.
So he needs some help from the line. The line's really got to step up because we lost 2 starters, and we're putting in a guy that's probably the worst lineman in the league.
Not in left tackle, though, right?
To take over for Will Campbell, because Will Campbell is now out for at least 4 weeks. We were real nervous yesterday. It looked like it'd be a torn ACL or torn something. So far, it seems just like a sprained MCL. And then with Jared Wilson, it's just a high ankle sprain. So they're hoping.
Hold on tight until they can come back.
Yeah, they're hoping 4 weeks for both. Get them back for the Miami game, which get them some reps, knock off some rust to get ready for the playoffs. Right after that, with hopefully a bye. But if not a bye, get that rust, get ready to go. But yeah, Marcus Jones was who I was referring to.
Gotcha.
He had a pick 6 in this game. He answered with his own pick 6. All Marcus Jones does is show up on the stat sheet every week with key plays. And then he showed up again later on in the game towards the end. He made the key pass defense that ended it for the Bengals. But this is one of those games that, honestly, with the way it went, the Pats are young. Yeah, they got the easy schedule. The Bengals they're hurting. They're fiery. They want to come out and they want to get it. This is a game the Pats should have lost, but they found a way to win, and that speaks to culture. That speaks to coaching. So overall, I'm very happy with this team and how they responded to a tough game, how they finished a tough game. But they're gonna need more. That offensive line we need some miracle work, because coming up next is the Giants on Monday night, and if there's one thing that Giants team can do, it is get after a quarterback.
They can. Yeah, they do actually have a pass rush.
Yeah.
They're everything else about their defense, I don't know, but they can stop the run and they can cause havoc to the quarterback. On top of that, you have a struggling offensive line. Yep. They got to step it up and get that. And Jameis Winston's no joke, too. You have to think about that as well.
Yeah. But the game plan for the Bengals defense was shut down the Patriots receivers, and then you can stop the offense, which is crazy to think about, because going into this year and last few years, we haven't had functional receivers, but we do now. Thank you, Josh McDaniels. Thank you, Stephon Diggs. But they got shut down. Diggs was only 2 for 20. He did have a critical 14-yard catch to convert a first down late in the game to help ice the game. Mac Hollins was only 2 for 30. Pop Douglas he only had 1 for 37, but it was a huge 37. Again, very late in the game. But that was also the only time they even targeted him. It was all Hunter Henry, 7 for 115, and the touchdown. He was the emergency valve, and he stepped up. Veteran leadership when it was needed.
Yeah, and it really helped him out to. A win's a win, and you never apologize for a big victory on the road, for sure. So for the Patriots to even get that W, no matter who they're playing, doesn't matter how, just get on the right side of that W column.
Exactly. 10-2 now. First 10-win season, I think, since 2019.
What happened that year?
No, that was the year after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. they won that Super Bowl in 19, but that was the 18.
That was the last Tom Brady year. That was a weird one, too.
That was the one, yeah. He
didn't play that well.
They made the playoffs, but they lost to the Titans. His final play as a Patriot was a pick 6.
Oh, yeah.
So
crazy.
But, things happen. It's okay. We have Drake May now. All things led to Vrabel in May.
Yeah, and it's looking really good.
Thank you, Amy Adams Strunk.
Yeah. So that was an exciting game. Are we on? Is it?
Yeah. How about them Cowboys?
Oh my Lord, the Dallas Cowboys, and poor Patrick ended up watching this with me.
Every last snap.
And he did not. I mean, were you okay? Was I too loud during that game?
Man, you want to talk about just, I saw every type of emotion that a human being can have he took it to 11 with his joy, with his sadness, with his anger, with his grief. I saw it all happen, and sometimes it would just switch so suddenly. like a fumble would happen, and he like a second before he would be just just so distraught. I know.
Yeah.
And then a second later, when they recovered that fumble, boom, he just did a 180 and was just the happiest person I've ever seen. Well, maybe not even the happiest person, because there were a lot of happy people that Wings and More that we were at, and
Wings and More, if you want to sponsor us.
yeah.
We're all ears.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it a lot over there, but I don't know if it was because it was good food, good service, or was it just because the Cowboys won? I didn't care. All right, I didn't care because I was just so happy with that big Cowboys victory. And emotions will run high when you're down 21-0 in the first half. I mean, it was a tale of two halves. And by the way, this is the same exact thing that happened in the first game that we played. Remember, we were just not playing that well in the first half, at least defensively. We did start the game off with the lead, with the 14-0 lead. Same thing happened there. The Eagles came off with the 14-0 lead. Everything was looking good. And then we came back to go get that victory. Just a wild, wild game, and I can't tell you how happy I am, just because even if we don't make the playoffs, even if the Eagles go on to win the Super Bowl, at least we got one last to them. That I hate them. I hate them.
That's more pathetic. I mean, happy about a tie.
I never said I was.
Hey, that tie could be crucial to the 7 seed because it's not a loss.
Yeah, or not. I don't know. It's just one of those frustrating things.
I do have a question for you, and I can't believe I am asking this question. If the Cowboys make the playoffs, because I think these awards are voted on as regular season awards. If the Cowboys make the playoffs, George Pickens got brought in. Micah Parsons, locker room cancer, traded away.
Yeah.
All these top players, Kenny Clark, Quinion Williams, whoever they got from the Bengals, that was better than whoever was already back there.
Logan Wilson,
Wilson,
the linebacker.
All brought in. Jerry Jones, Executive of the Year.
I would make a serious case for it, because we were in cap hell. We had no future ahead of us. And then all of a sudden you get rid of Micah Parsons. And I said, I don't like the way it went down. I don't think you should have got to that point. But once you're at that point, Jerry had to do what he had to do, because there was no life left for this defense. And now you got Quinton Williams, who the Eagles were afraid to run it on us. They just wouldn't do it, and that's their bread and butter over there.
Yeah.
Only 10 attempts from Saquon Barkley, and in those 10 attempts, only got 22 yards. We didn't let him do anything on that. He had one big catch for a first down, and outside of that, Saquon was not a relevant part of the story, and we put the game in Jalen Hurts' hand, and boy, that offense started stalling out in the second half.
It really did, and reports post-game and reports that I saw this morning is the Cowboys locker room was pretty fiery at halftime, and Quinton Williams, one of those veterans, only on the team a few weeks, but one of those veterans leading the charge with fiery speeches to get them ready to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't need a big orator from your coach. You need it from the players, and the veterans are ready to go. My other question for you, and then I'll let you talk more about the game and the experience that you and Patrick had with our friend Stefan at Wings and More. But my other question is, if they can come all the way back and make the playoffs, is Dak Prescott? Oh my goodness, Dak Prescott. Words. Is Dak Prescott an MVP candidate again?
Absolutely, yeah. No. I think they candidate. I don't know about MVP winner, but if they end up making
running away with it,
yeah, Stafford's doing a really good job with that. But Dak Prescott is having a phenomenal year. This is one of the best years that he's had in a long, long time. It's they call it the Prescott bounce back. It's usually right after his big injury, he comes back. I guess he reevaluates life and says, "How can I get better at this position?" And he's getting better, and he's a weird kind of better too. It's almost like he's more of like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady at reading coverages and making audibles and killing plays and doing hot routes. He's doing some amazing things this year. Now, it was not a good start. Dak Prescott.
I thought it was going to be 56-0.
It sure looked that way. I mean, one of them. Just reading off the stats real quick. I mean, we got the passing yards. Jalen Hurts has 205 passing yards, 18 for 25. And that's going to be our biggest weakness is still passing because our secondary is just not too hot. So holding him to 205, it's pretty good. Saquon Barkley looked pretty meh out there with the 22 yards. Dak Prescott ended up throwing 245 yards. Offense in general, even in the first half, looked really good. I mean, at least moving the ball. They ended up getting 385 total yards, and they outpaced him on every little statistic category except for one, and it was turnovers in the first half. And they had 2 turnovers compared to the Eagles, 0. Turpin had a terrible fumble. Dak Prescott, I don't know what that interception was. I have no clue. It was just bad. And then CeeDee Lamb was throwing a fit. CeeDee Lamb, what was that?
Why can't he catch the ball when you play the Eagles?
It's only against the Eagles. He's got 7 drops against the Eagles. Outside of that, he's got like hardly any.
And conspiracy, he was wearing green cleats. Does someone need to check his gambling accounts?
I saw you getting in a little Twitter fight about that.
I was defending the green cleats. Yeah, there was a shout out Cowboy Computer on X on Twitter. He didn't seem to have any issue with Dak having the yellow-orange cleats, but he had a big issue that with CD not wearing blue cleats and them being green. He didn't really seem to care about the green. He seemed to be real mad they weren't blue.
Yeah.
When most of the team wasn't wearing blue cleats. But, you know.
Yeah. He just chose what I don't know. It's the charity of his choice, and that's what he chose. And I'm not worried about his cleats. I'm worried about him catching a freaking football. That's what I'm worried about. And he just did not look good. But then what did he do? Stepped up, got that big possible pass interference on the offense. Could have been on the defense too, and that's what they called it. It was could have gone either way, and caught that major 40-yard pass from Dak Prescott. And George Pickens just went lights out in this thing. I got to tell you, overall penalties, again, it was a trash show, by the way. 7 penalties for 58 yards.
The refs had a bad game.
They did, but they were calling a bad game. And what was that? Pass the roughing the punter call? That was
it was tipped.
It was tipped.
The NFL officially blamed Fox's television coverage for them not being able to properly replay it.
That doesn't make sense because he's got to throw the challenge flag either way, though. And when the player's running to the sideline saying, "Hey, I hit the ball,"
they should have challenged.
It's worth the challenge. And by the way, Shoddy, not one challenge in the NFL. Like
he
as a head coach,
one yet.
Not once. He has not challenged yet.
That was the time to do it.
I like a good streak.
Just get called as they may.
I respect that.
I mean, we're in week 12. He might complete it. He might complete the circuit too.
Does that happen?
Here, there you go. Work on that. I was just really curious.
It's a very specific search.
Yeah. And the Cowboys did not have an A-plus game at all. They didn't even have an A-plus game in the second half. They had, what was it? They could have taken the lead, and you know me, Mr. Go For It on 4th down. They had it at, 4th and goal at the 2, and they decided to go for it instead of taking the lead. Just take the lead. Your defense has been playing really well out there, and you ended up not taking the lead in the game. Instead, you go for it on 4th down. You give it back to the Eagles, and then Saquon Barkley just handed us a gift. They gave us a fumble, got George Pickens a big pass. Turpin recovered from the fumble, by the way, a couple plays earlier back, running off for a 40-yard reception. I mean, you could say, hey, the Eagles didn't play that well. Neither did we. We played like trash out there, and we just had to do some big plays to actually get us over the top and actually win that game. Very exciting. I did not see a win in the middle of that game, and for us to somehow get onto the right side of this was just masterful. I was so happy that we had it because our season was going to be done.
And big special teams miscue by the Eagles late in the game as well, correct?
Which one? The fumble?
Yeah, on the return.
Yeah. Did you see that play? Did you see how
he let it go?
Yeah, he should have let it go, but I'm talking about the gunner that ran down there.
Yeah. He got knocked down and got back up and still got to him.
Knocked down again, kept on running and laid a hell of a hit out there. I mean, they didn't quit. They kept going hard, and the fact of the matter is the Cowboys have not done this all year. When they go down by 14, that team just gets out. They don't play real well. CeeDee Lamb starts pouting like he did, and before you know it, we're down 56-0. But they turned it around. They did a much better job this game. The defense was actually holding them strong. And those defensive tackles with the Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams combo, let's go ahead and add Odigizua. Now that he's actually got some breathing room, he can actually go get those sacks. That is a serious, serious defensive line that looks like better than whatever the Micah Parsons defenses looked like last year.
And then you add in a healthy Overshown.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's looking really good out there. Bland made some big plays. I still don't like our secondary, but Malik Hooker's back. Donovan Wilson's back, so it should at least improve somewhat. I'm serious. I think this is now starting to turn into a top third defense in the league. They are that good, and it's my favorite type of pass rush is the defensive tackle.
Top 3 or top 3?
Did I say top third?
Yeah.
You said both.
Top third. Top third.
Okay. So
Okay.
like top 10 or 11.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So you're all in on Eberflus for the future.
You got to keep Eberflus at this point.
Wow.
I know. I mean,
Wow.
he's done a decent job. I think his improvements will show in the draft when we go ahead and get a couple, either a cornerback or get some young talent or maybe a free agent that understands zone concept better. But if you give him the proper players to actually operate the zone, he is a good coordinator. He should pull it off. We just didn't have the tools at the time, and he didn't understand that, and he just kept on having us lose. Now, when you have a defensive line, your secondary doesn't even have to be that good if they can get to the quarterback in 2 seconds or less. So it's an amazing, amazing game. What a big turnaround. We got a big matchup up ahead next week.
Yeah.
Next week, it's
And
Thursday.
just in just a few days, which we'll get to our picks in a little bit.
Well, I got a stat for you guys.
Oh, let's get this stat.
Okay.
Let's go.
The record for least amount of challenges thrown in a season is 0. 2023 Las Vegas Raiders, who had a mediocre 8-9 record. So they probably should have thrown a few more challenges.
Might have given them over the hump. Get them in a winning record.
Those Raiders. Raiders know how to, be Raiders.
But
That goes against their identity. Oh, I trust the refs. That sounds right, what they did. No.
no.
You guys are supposed to be rebels.
Yeah, and he doesn't argue.
Challenge.
He doesn't argue with the refs either. Shotty's not known for that. He gives them a little, he's just a nice guy. That's just how he is. Big turnaround, though. Big win for the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's looking good. Now, that's the Cowboys side. Now let's get into the Eagles side.
Yeah, the Eagles.
They've got some offensive problems.
They're
Right.
still going to cruise the division, though, right?
I don't know. I genuinely don't. I'd have to look at their schedule. I mean,
Let's take a look. Pull it up.
yeah, so Eagles schedule. So who do they got? They got the Bears on Friday. That's a Black Friday game, so it's going to be a short turnaround.
They're taking
after
over Black Friday, too. What time's that game on?
2:00, right in the middle. Well, yeah, there's going to be some college football happening.
They were smart to put it. Well, no, the two big game. Well, the Egg Bowl is going to be.
What's the Egg Bowl?
That's Ole Miss, Mississippi State. I think that's been moved to. It's usually Thanksgiving night. I think that got moved to Friday night, and then also Friday night the game I will be watching, Texas A&M.
Yeah, and that should be always entertaining. Texas going at it with Texas A&M at Texas too. You have a chance to visit the tailgate soon. Are you going to do it?
No, we got Megan's family's in town, so I'll be doing whatever. But I've already reserved my time for the evening in front of the TV.
Okay.
An app for it to reserve that.
It's called Confirm with the Wife.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are going to go 500 for the rest of the season.
You got the Bears, you got the Chargers. Raiders should be an easy win. Then you got the Commanders. Division game.
So you never know.
You never know. Then they got the Bills, who are going to probably be desperate over there, and then the Commanders. So it's not going to be easy. But
if their defense can step up, they should beat the Bears.
yeah, because the Bears' offense isn't that great. Right?
They are, honestly, when you look at their schedule and look at how things have gone for them compared to like the Patriots, the Bears are arguably the bigger frauds so far this season. Yes, I'm a homer. You're listening to a Homer Hour show, so deal with it, folks. But
a lot of people are arguing that the Eagles might be frauds.
the Eagles also might be frauds as well. But I mean, when we look at let's pull up the Cowboys schedule. because the Cowboys are the only other team that can catch him.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy. We got 2 big games ahead with Kansas City and Detroit.
Okay, yeah, those 2 big games. Those are going to be tough. We'll hold off on what we think is going to be the Kansas City result because that's going to be in 2 segments. But
you guys should already know on my side.
picking,
yeah.
and you probably know who. If you follow this pod, you probably know who I'm picking too. But wait and see. About 10 minutes away. But then the Lions. That's going to be a battle.
And I think the Lions match up better against this defensive line
Mhm.
because that is not going to be as easy to get through. But Kansas City, not so much. I think we can get through.
I mean, the Lions are down Laporta, but they have so many weapons. The Cowboys should crush the Vikings. They should beat the Chargers. They should beat the Commanders. In the Giants game, it all depends on if Kafka's still coaching for his job or if the wheels have fallen off and Dart's playing. So, and what's the...
And even if we don't win the division, if you win everything that you just said, so you lose to Detroit or lose to Kansas City and get one of those wins, I mean, they should be coasting. That's, 11-6?
Well,
should make the playoffs.
No,
Was
11-5-1.
11-5-1.
Sorry, 10-6-1.
10-6-1, but that should be enough to get a wild card
NFC,
position.
they're kind of all cannibalizing themselves towards the bottom, especially if we are recording this on a Monday. If the
Niners.
If the Niners can keep winning and they're playing the Panthers right now, that's a crucial game for. Yeah, the Panthers are sneaky good.
Yeah. They're actually really good when they played against the Cowboys.
And if let's be honest, if
really good,
if the Panthers can come back and pull off the surprise, they'll have a half game lead in the division. But if Baker Mayfield misses any time, I mean the Buccaneers are crashing back down to earth. They've lost 3 in a row. The Panthers might be able to win this. The NFC South is to the NFC what the AFC North is to the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
9 wins should get you. 8 wins might do it.
Yeah, so the possibilities are endless. We could possibly get into the playoffs, and I think we're a threatening team with that offense humming along as it is. When it's clicking on all cylinders, I don't think there's a better offense in this league. With George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, and this line clicking, it is a serious threat.
And getting the split with the Eagles is huge because they're only 2 back in the loss column. So they're 2.5 games back with plenty of games still to go, and the Eagles are reeling. The Cowboys, like we said last week, we think they're about to go on a run. They're not out of this division yet.
No, not yet. And man, we could keep the streak alive. Speaking of streaks, Patrick, I don't know if you know this, but in the NFC East, they have not had a repeat division winner in the last 15 years. Yeah, and so the Cowboys are trying to break that streak. Or no,
the
Eagles are trying to break the streak, and the Cowboys aren't going to let it. So, you think the Cowboys are?
No, the Eagles. I think they're going to do it.
They're going to ruin this? What happened to Streak Guy?
Hey, I'm rooting for it. I was so happy when different sport here, when the Mariners didn't make it to the World Series. They're the only team that's never made it.
Did you root against the Cubs too?
I kind of did.
Yeah, I did too.
That would be great if I wouldn't be upset if they did, but like, this is what you do. Come on.
You got to be the lovable loser. The only way you can be is if you're losing.
I will say we were truly robbed as sports fans in general back in 2003 when Grady Little left Pedro in too long, and then when the Cubs just malfunctioned against the Marlins. We were this close to getting Cubs versus Red Sox, streak versus streak in the World Series. And instead we got Marlins Yankees, and a fantastic World Series when the Marlins just broke the Yankees' hearts. But we were this close to something truly epic.
Yeah, and I think that's when I learned my lesson, because I was rooting on Boston to, end their streak, and then you guys went on a tear, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm always going to root against the lovable losers now. I'm never doing this again. So I rooted against the Cubs, root against, who's the next one, Cleveland? I know you rooted against the Rangers, but that didn't work out for you, 2023.
No, and then also, like, I forget the team that did it, but like when 16 beat a 1 in the NCAA.
Oh, a couple years
March
ago.
Madness, it was like,
Yeah.
You ruined it.
University of like Loyola, Maryland or something. They took out Virginia.
Yeah, I remember it was Virginia.
But I will say, good enough on Virginia. What did they do the next year?
Won the championship.
They won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So Virginia didn't fire Tony Bennett in a fit of rage and embarrassment. They held on to him.
It's March
Madness. And then
UVA
came back and won it all the next year. I know
No.
his last name's Bennett. I
No.
might have the wrong first name.
No, not the lounge singer. But yeah, so a lot of high hopes for the Cowboys. Hopefully they could continue that streak going in. And I am ecstatic. I am happy. Unfortunately, I only get to enjoy it for how long? Until the Thanksgiving game. I wish I could breathe on it. By the way, the Cowboys playing 4 games in 18 days. 4 games in 18 days.
But they can't go to an 18-game season because look at all the injuries. There were so many injuries across the league the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're 2/3 of the way through the season. And they keep preaching, oh, player safety this, player safety that. We have games on Fridays, on Thursday. They should not be playing that many games in not even 3 weeks. They're playing 2 games in 5 days.
You got to give them another bye week if you're going to do it.
They even as it is with 17, everyone should have 2 bye weeks, one in the first half of the season, one in the second half.
I agree.
Who cares if the NFL season goes past
Nobody.
a little later? They seem to be really worried about going past President's Day for some reason, and I don't get it.
It doesn't matter. You're
They're-
the
they're-
NFL.
they're
You're the
not-
juggernaut.
One, they're the juggernaut. 2, they're not up against March Madness at that point. They're still done.
You
long
could be,
before it.
though. Like,
You're
it doesn't
only-
matter.
You're only up against regular season NHL, which I love, of course, and the NBA. Go an extra week. I'm pretty.
Elimination chamber though. Can they do that?
Yes, they can still do that.
Okay.
Yeah. They can still do that. So it's just
Maybe
like,
for most fans. I don't know about you.
they really need to add in a second bye week.
I heard this thrown out there one time. It's like, okay, you have 18 games, but every player can only play in 16 of them. They have to rest.
You know, I would.
I like that.
I
yeah.
like that a lot. I would even institute that in a 17-game season
Mhm.
because then it preserves all the records.
Yeah.
The records get unified, and you could so if a player's out hurt for 2 or 3 games, they don't need to then sit another one. They missed one. They're only required to miss one.
Yeah, and it would increase the value of your starting getting a backup quarterback. I
Yes.
mean, that would just increase their market because you got to get a good one
Yep,
to
they're
step in for that
starting
game.
at least one.
Yeah. It's kind of fun, actually. That would be
Yeah,
entertaining.
obviously it would never happen because of the marketing appeal, and then it's like, well, like especially this day and age where
Fantasy owners would hate it.
fantasy owners you can plan for. We already planned for a bye week, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You can plan for it. You can adjust, especially in dynasty leagues. Like we all plan in dynasty league. Not a big deal. We should have enough depth.
Mhm.
Or we're tanking for a better draft pick the next year, so it's fine. But where you'd see the big pushback is fans that go to the in-stadium game experience, especially families,
Mhm.
because this day and age, you can't just bring like a family of 4 to a game without dropping probably a total of $1,000,
Yeah.
which is it's embarrassing and disgusting, and a lot of things wrong with how money grabby sports has been. But that's a different soapbox for a different time. But simply because of that, when there's only 17 of them, or maybe only 18 in the future, and then half of those are your home games, the owners would never pass it because then it would affect ticket sales.
Mm.
Because because you would have to probably announce ahead of time, okay, at least a week ahead of time, maybe 2 weeks ahead of time, which is too late for most people buying tickets.
Yeah.
Um,
It'd be interesting, but yeah, I
Yeah.
could see a lot of flaws to it, too.
that's the only thing. I think it should happen, but I also personally, I think the NFL is best enjoyed sitting on the couch. That's just me. I've been to several NFL games. I love going to the games, but it's that product is so perfect for TV. Whereas you go to a big college football game, all the pomp and circumstance around it, it's just a little different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's a lot of weird traditions and things like that. Although they don't get Michael Irvin doing a little pep talk
No, they
right
don't.
before the game, which
Urban's post game reaction. I don't know if you saw it. He was
yeah,
he was happy.
that's about right. That's about right. I love Michael Irvin. I love him so much. Just being the guy he is.
As you
like,
should.
like he's the best hype man. I think in any out of any
anything
team.
else on either the Cowboys or the Eagles?
You
We've
know,
gone wonderfully off track. I'm very happy. We've had some
I
really
know.
good. We've had some good side quests so far today.
Nick, do you still have those Eagles golf balls?
I hit him in the woods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even the one I found for you and brought back?
Yeah, I hit it in the woods. I made sure of it. Yeah. And the bit was he gave me cowboy golf balls one Christmas, and I was like, I'm never gonna hit this.
You mean, oh, yeah. So then you get,
Lose 'em.
yeah.
Yeah. So then he gave me Eagles golf balls, so I could I could
do
take
still
risky
have
shots.
those Red Sox ones. I think you got me one year. They're still. I haven't hit them.
Oh yeah, we always were hoping that you would just get some pretty old one, and then you have to like take a picture of your Eagles. Golf
I
ball.
wouldn't do it. I was like, no, I didn't go in. I don't think. I don't think it went in. Nah, something weird happened. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next hole. No pictures, no drinks.
Yeah. So that was Eastside News, which means it's time to talk about the team of the pod, which is fitting because we have the creator of the team of the pod concept here with us today in Patrick Owens, and
The creator, and you guys ran with it,
that,
so
and we ran with it, and it
I
was
get credit
good.
for that?
You get credit
Absolutely.
for it. We give you credit for it quite often, in fact. Yeah. I will say, if you've been enjoying our little intros, I think you should put the earbud in to listen to this one.
What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? Is it go blue? Let's ride. Or lucky shoe? Who knows? Who knows? What's going on with the Colts?
All right. Now we get to talk about what's going on with the Colts. First, I got to ask, Patrick, what'd you think of that intro?
That was the best thing I've ever seen and heard.
It should be up.
Smelled oddly.
And even smelled. I feel like it should be up for some Grammys or something. I don't know. It's
Should.
pretty good. But one thing I
Those
will
are
say,
some serious graphics I made there.
yeah. One thing I will say, we still don't really know like what they say to like rally and stuff. But I have found out, at least over like time posting about the Colts and stuff, that their hashtag is for the shoe.
Oh, okay.
That's their hashtag.
For the shoe, not
I don't
just
know if
lucky
they go
shoe.
around saying for the shoe or if it's just their hashtag, but that's their hashtag.
I was gonna go around never figuring it out and just keep doing our bit.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to know how they do it.
Yeah,
But,
for the shoe.
But the Colts with the very disappointing game, especially for Rob, because he was extra cheering for the Colts this game, although he picked Kansas City.
I
Didn't really work out.
But I was also pretty wrong. One, Andy Reid did not throw cheeseburgers or rib bones at any of his players in anger during the game. Maybe at practice, but didn't happen during the game live on TV. And two, it was not a blowout by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, the Chiefs didn't lead the entire game until that kick went in to end the game.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's kind of a moral victory for the Indianapolis Colts, right? I mean,
It
it's a
was
big matchup.
it was in Arrowhead, but that does, if somehow the Pats can survive their injuries and hold on to that 1 seed, that does put the Colts at the 2 or the 3 seed, depending on the Broncos, setting up a potential rematch with a Chiefs team coming to that.
Oh man.
How was that moral?
Well, look,
I would say it was a moral victory in the fact that they didn't get blown out.
they weren't
I
favored.
was wrong. They were favored, but so obviously they didn't cover. They've still lost, but they hung with them the whole time, and they needed 5 quarters to lose. In Arrowhead is not an easy place to play. That is one of the few places. Obviously, I've been to Pats games. That's one of the few NFL stadiums that I'm like, I would want to go to a
absolutely.
big home game there to experience that.
It's one of the 2 stadiums I've been to.
And how is it? How's the home experience there?
It was good. It was so Mahomes was on the team then, but it was his rookie season. He was on the bench. Alex Smith was starting. They were playing the Dolphins. There was a fan there dressed like Ace Ventura with the tutu on.
Oh, yeah?
Awesome.
Which was pretty hilarious. That's bad. That's the one takeaway. No, it was also 10 degrees. And
Good.
As it should be, I feel.
Christmas Eve, and they won. It was the game that they clinched the division that game, so it was a pretty good atmosphere, even though the stadium's only half full because it was that cold.
And they weren't.
It was
they
before the
weren't-
Mahomes era.
It was
too.
the error hadn't kicked into high
Yeah,
gear.
he was on the bench, but
Was
yeah.
it, even though half full? Was it still pretty loud?
It was pretty loud. Yeah, it was a pretty intimidating place. I would not want to have been a Dolphins player then, but It was a lot of fun. It was a pretty cool experience. So if you can go, I recommend.
Yeah, that's that one, and then the other two for me would be obviously Lambeau.
Lambeau's
In ideally,
number one in mine,
ideally
but-
in the freezing cold.
obviously.
Soldier Field too, again in the freezing cold.
And you're running out of time there. They're going to be moving to a new stadium.
Yeah, they're fighting that good fight to see if they can get a new modern stadium. Hopefully they don't do what the owners want. Hopefully they keep the roof off the stadium. I like the Bills are purposely not putting a roof on their stadium.
That's good. Yeah, you got to keep that.
Yeah, home field advantage. But is
Yeah.
there like I named those? Is there another stadium that jumps out to either of you that'd be like, oh, I want to see an NFL game there?
Oh, SoFi. SoFi just looks
SoFi.
beautiful. And
Of
that,
the new modern stadiums, yeah.
yeah, like, and I kind of don't like it because they're all cookie cutter stadiums, but that one looks different and
Yeah.
unique. I love the way
Well,
you
not the
walk
Niner
in at
Stadium,
the
the
top
Rams.
level, the little parks on the outside. It just looks like a very cool venue to go to.
I
LA
hear
fans,
it's pricey though.
yeah, it's pricey, and LA
Like
fans,
$250 to park.
yeah. Well, it's LA,
Yeah,
so
So
and-
don't drive.
and their fans, they're not the most engaging fans.
They're-
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, if you're an
They're-
LA fan.
They're not a good sports market.
No.
And a lot of that has to do with one, LA is a transplant city. So that makes it really hard to have a big, massive following. And two, it's LA. It is always so nice out.
Yeah, and if you're not the Lakers, you're not gonna get
Right.
all the hubbub
And
either.
if
you know?
you look at all the traditional, and the Colts, don't worry, we're getting to you soon. If you look at all the traditional, like diehard sports fan bases, almost all of them have one thing in common: frigid, cold, miserable winters. Most, like the
Most.
Cowboys.
I was
don't.
gonna say the
Cowboys
Cowboys,
don't, but they
that's a
have
blue blood.
They have an unbelievable winning tradition that the Rams do not have.
Yeah, it's up there. That's
This current ownership group of the Cowboys has won multiple Super Bowls.
yeah, three.
How many teams have won 3 Super Bowls in 35 years?
Yeah.
3?
I mean, I can think of one for sure, two for sure.
Eh? Not bad.
For
Patriots,
sure.
I got the Chiefs, and I got the
Cowboys,
I might be
and then Steelers. No, they got 2. Steelers only got 2.
There you go.
There you go.
So in the last 35 years,
Packers
not that
only
bad.
got-
We just did it all at once.
Packers only have 2 because Favre has 1 and Rodgers has 1.
Correct. Yeah.
But they both played in. No, Rodgers only played 1.
Yeah.
Favre played him back to back, but lost to Elway on the helicopter.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you know.
So
So-
they're still up there. They are I believe it's the Steelers and the Pats are tied for the most Super Bowl victories, and the Cowboys are 1 behind.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Be onto something there because I think the stadiums I would like to go to are all cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to go to a Broncos game.
Oh, that's a
Not-
good one.
Not
Mile
a Broncos
High.
fan,
Yeah.
but it just seemed like it would be fun to be out there and out in the snow. And
They have a good fan base too.
also, I don't know why, but Cleveland, I think that would be a fun experience.
Yeah, I still haven't been to a Cleveland game,
Cleveland.
which is crazy. My wife's family is from Cleveland, but the timing has never worked out when we visit to go to a game. But hopefully that's not happening this year. But maybe next year. Hopefully before they build a new stadium as well.
You get to see Shador take over the team next year.
He might.
He might. He just had a big win.
He's the first
11 for
He's
20.
the first Cleveland Browns quarterback to win his first start since 1995. That's over 40 plus quarterbacks ago.
It's such a
Cleveland's had
talk
40
about a team that can't win a Super Bowl, right?
Cleveland's had
And
42
on the level of
different
losers.
starting quarterbacks since
Name 'em.
1999.
Go.
No, I can name Tim Couch was the first in the reiteration. He was that number 1 overall
And
draft pick.
then, then it goes.
And then
haywire
we
quickly.
can bookend it with Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, there you go. But Colts look like Kansas City. Kansas City looks like they're struggling a little though. They ended up being in another dogfight. They got the W, but their offense is not that impressive right now. And I thought they would
It's
look so
not-
much different with Rasheed Rice.
It's gonna get better, but
Not next week.
It's an aging offense for the most part. Yes, you've got Worthy and Rice; they're young, but Kelsey is old. Kareem Hunt is older, especially in running back years, and they don't really have a reliable running back. Otherwise, they actually Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually reemerged for the first time in a long time and got
Yeah.
some playing time. So there's not a lot of consistency from Mahomes. It kind of feels a lot like late era Brady, where he just didn't really have all the weapons, and he was being asked to make the magic happen. That being said, if
Their
this
defense is legit, though.
their defense is decent, because they've got probably the best defensive coordinator in the league.
That and
I
Chris
mean,
Jones
he's
helps.
responsible for single-handedly giving the Giants 2 Super Bowls and Spags.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, he was the defensive coordinator that beat like that the Patriots team that should have been perfect that lost in the Super Bowl.
It was against Spags.
It was against Spags, and I don't know it. Like, I know I'm a homer, but I don't honestly know if there's ever been a better offense in the NFL before or since that season with the Patriots.
No, yeah, I can't think of. Well, there were some good ones.
There's been
but
some good ones. The greatest show on turf.
when the Rams first hit the team too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely
that
up
one was
there as
just
one
so-
of the best.
I mean, but they also went into that Tom Brady was unbelievably cocky in that Super Bowl. In the lead up, someone said, like, you know, what if you guys only score like 21 points or something like that? He actually scoffed at the reporter and said, we're going to score more than 21. Well, they scored 14.
It was-
And he also famously, when he went to jog out at the start of the Super Bowl, he paused and walked over and shook. I believe his name is Pat O'Brien, the Hollywood extra host or whatever. He stopped for a moment to like shake his hand.
Mm.
So Brady wasn't fully focused. The team wasn't fully focused, and it cost him. But so did Asante Samuel.
Yeah. Crazy game, but yeah, Kansas
Colts.
City. Yeah, but the Colts, I think they're, I wouldn't beat themselves up too much. We're going to look at their upcoming schedule and see if they can bounce back. They look like they're still strong and competing, and they were going against a good team. So let's.
But the
Games like that's going to happen at some point.
The frustrating thing is, like, Danny Dimes didn't even have a classic Danny Dimes game, but they were playing functionally well. But then in the last like 3 or 4 drives, if they had just found a way to get like 1 or 2 first downs and eat a little bit more time off the clock, they probably win the game.
Probably.
And
but
instead, they just 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Jonathan Taylor,
it's a tough team to run on.
Jonathan Taylor had a chance to say, "Hey, Matthew Stafford, I'm right here in the MVP race."
Mhm.
He's still like in my top 5, but that's because Matthew Stafford is just so unbelievably dominant this year. To like, I think he's already clinched it.
Yeah.
But the upcoming Colts schedule, as we look at what's ahead, they've got. We mentioned this earlier when we were talking Texans. The Texans come to Indianapolis this Sunday. I'm surprised it's a noon. I guess it's not quite flex season yet, but I am surprised it's a noon game with the fact that there's already 4 national games happening between Thursday and Friday. I'm surprised a classic rivalry like this wasn't just automatically in a later window. And I do play it a lot, but that's going to be a game that we're all going to be able to watch for sure. Texans visit the Colts. Sorry, fans, we will not be live streaming this weekend. Between our friend Patrick here's out of town, or we would definitely be thinking about it. But also, we all have family in town doing things, so it's not a live stream weekend. But hopefully next weekend there is one, because Texans got the Colts. But then if they can win that one and then win the next one on December 7th, they go to Jacksonville. So if they can win in Jacksonville. In Duval. Did I do that right?
So
Who
lame.
knows?
I can't stand it. It's
but-
one of the worst bits.
But,
I think it'll be an ironic at this point, and it's funny. But
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I will say,
don't get it.
Liam Cohen epically lost the press conference. Most new coaches win the press conference, but his effort at Duval was mocked and maimed endlessly.
Yeah,
But he's winning. He's winning the X's and O's. He's got
Yeah,
the Jaguars
he's a good coach.
contending. They're actually in the playoffs right now, and the Chiefs technically aren't. We'll see how this settles out. But so they got the Colts go Texans, then they go Jaguars, then they got to travel to the Seahawks.
Not
Oh
gonna
my
be easy.
goodness.
not going to be easy.
Then they got the Niners, then they got the Jags, and then they got the Texans. You could make an argument that they've already won all the games they're going to win this year with what's coming up.
It's definitely a possibility. I think they are a talented team, and they should be able to compete against one of those. So I wouldn't count them out just quite yet. But Danny Dimes just makes me so nervous.
And Taylor's got to find a way to step up.
He's gotta be the
He's
guy.
having such a good. He's leading the NFL in rushing. He's having a great season. They just clearly need a little bit more from him. This team's going in the right direction.
Mhm. But they took away their rebuilding tools. They got rid of that. They were like, we're done with the draft picks. So I'm going, okay,
So
I guess this is your year.
It's going to be interesting. It
A
seems
little
like
risky.
I think they're probably going to give I think Danny Dimes is going to be this generation's oh my goodness, what was his name? Oklahoma starter last Sam he might be this generation's Sam Bradford if he can parlay himself another big deal.
Had an all right year.
But because if I'm the Colts, I'm re-signing him. It's just a matter of finding that number. He's probably going to get a Baker Mayfield like contract, which is a lot of money for a guy that's already gotten a lot of money for not doing much.
He's got a lot of talent. He's so accurate, and he's got legs. I mean, I would definitely re-sign him. The only thing I'm concerned about is his decision-making skills, and if he's improving on that like he has this year, I'd say go ahead and sign him. He's still relatively young, too, for a quarterback position. I say go for it.
But yeah, so looking at this, like the Colts are going to make the playoffs, but they could easily tumble from the 3 seed where they're at right now. They could tumble right down to 6 or 7, and you could see. I mean, they got 4 division games left. They got to at least split those. They got to go 2-2, and then they got to find a way to steal one of the. So if they go 3-3 to finish their season, that gets them at. They've lost 3 games so far, so that gets them at 11-6. That's in the playoffs. That should be good enough to win the division, but we looked at the Texans schedule. The Texans have a doable schedule to escape with only one more loss. Let's look at the Jaguars.
My last point on the Danny Dimes thing
Danny Dimes.
is this wouldn't be the first time, though, he hoodwinks a team into thinking he's good.
After one season.
And then all of a sudden you pay him, and it ends up being a disaster. So watch out, Colts.
Which is, why
watch
I
out.
referenced
Now,
Sam Bradford.
you're not going to be our team next year, so I'm not worried about it, but good luck.
So the Jaguars have the Titans twice. They should sweep those. They've got the Jets. They should win that one. That's 3 wins right there. But then, as we mentioned, they have the Colts twice and the Broncos once. So they also have a chance to go 3-3. But that 3-3 versus a Colts team that might go 2-4.
Very well could do it.
They're
breathing down your neck,
That could
Colts.
swing it.
You got the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans are starting to breathe down your necks. You got to crank up the gas and get some wins here.
And then when you're looking briefly at the AFC playoff picture, Bills will get in, Pats will get in, and then you've got one team out of.
Are you sure about the Bills?
Yeah, they'll get in.
Okay.
The Bills will get in. One team out of the North. Then you get 2 teams out of the out of the West. Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Depending on how
possible.
if the Chargers can get right and hang on. And then that leaves only the division winner from the South. The South's going to be real fun this down the stretch here. It's perfectly set up with the Colts having to play the Jaguars and the Texans. The Texans having to play the Colts twice. They've already played the Jaguars and the Colts. Yeah, I just messed up that whole line. Don't worry about it. It's a really good schedule coming up. Tough finish. The Colts out of the 3 have the hardest schedule. The Jaguars have the easiest, and the Texans are just right there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. We follow on the East Side, so that's AFC, NFC East. Tell you what, if there's a podcast out there following the West Side, AFC West and NFC West, that's a hell of 2 divisions right now. They are both playing
The best.
really well. There's not many bad teams there.
But Patrick, I gotta ask you now. We said it earlier, like, they can't win the division. But now we've looked more in depth at their 2 biggest rivals. What are your thoughts on the Texans? And 1, playoffs, 2, division? Is NRG going to have a home playoff game?
I'm sure the Jaguars are doing good now. I don't believe it. They'll find a way. They'll miss the playoffs. Not even consider it. Might as well be the Titans.
I love the homerism.
The Colts, okay, they came out of nowhere. And guys, what were they last year? They weren't even a threat.
Terrible.
They were
Terrible.
terrible.
I think they only got like 3 wins.
We preseason, we only thought they were going to get 3 or 4 wins. So.
Looking at their schedule, including 2 against the Texans might. It sounds cocky to say that they're in the driver's seat, but they have an easier schedule and the Colts have a pretty hard one, and they didn't really show up this last week, so I'm going Texans. I'm going.
You gonna do it?
That's my brain.
Gun to
Yeah,
head.
heart. So, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens this weekend.
Look-
And they'll ultimately go one way or the other.
Yeah, the Colts are going to be hard pressed to finish the season 3-3. Hard pressed.
It's not going to be easy. No. But I also think they're not a bad team. I think they're actually pretty good. It's not just mirage. They're competing even against Kansas City Chiefs and things like that. They've already had big wins earlier in the year. Would definitely not count them out, though. I think they can get some wins over there. It's just, man, I'd be scared of the Texans right now, though, with that defense. It's by far, I think, the best in the league right now, the Houston Texans defense. So it's not going to be easy with them. Danny Dimes doing what he does, put a little pressure on him, win a couple interceptions, and the Texans should take that division.
Yeah. And,
Wouldn't shock me at all.
And if the Colts stumble to 2-4 finish, letting this game get away from them in Kansas City the way they did is going to be critical.
Very critical.
Just
Very
looking at
critical.
this Colts schedule, they beat a lot of bad teams and lost to pretty much every good team they faced. So I think coming against the Texans are going to whoop them up.
All right.
Whoop them up, I mean win by 3.
So since we're talking
It's huge.
predictions, should we go ahead and go to picks, or do we have any more thoughts on the Colts?
We should. I got a phone call. Sorry.
I'll just say
I'll cut
this.
it right there.
Da 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 da.
I'll say this though. I was 2 Colts fans out there. I was just in your lovely city 2 or 3 weekends ago. Very nice. If you ever have a chance to go to Indianapolis, you guys been to Indianapolis?
Never been to
Not yet.
Indianapolis.
I've driven
Maybe the
through, never
airport.
Stopped.
Mhm.
Driven through a few times.
Very nice. We were in the city for about 2 days. Could have done at least 2 more days. There's a lot to do. Kind of sneaky.
Yeah. I think I've been to the airport. Also been to Cleveland's airport, but never into Cleveland. And they keep on.
Cleveland's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and they keep saying there's a homeless population problem, but I was in the airport. I didn't see one. It looks pretty clean. Looks like it's a well-to-do city. I don't know what all the hype is about, but yeah, we'll go ahead and kick it off and go straight into the picks.
Making picks with Nick and Rob. Nick and Rob. That pick might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a cone on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Rob. Da, 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 da.
All this talk about the upcoming schedule. Well, it's time to finally air out which way we're leaning on this, Rob. So,
We got to make some picks.
yeah, and we know the first game is going to be the Cowboys against Kansas City.
Yep.
How are you feeling about that? Thanksgiving game, and the Cowboys are at home. I'd have to look up I'll
There's-
look up the spread while you're.
There's only one way I would feel better about this game, and if a Jerry Jones came out and announced that he was scrapping whoever's playing halftime. I think it's Post Malone, that's pretty good. He loves the Cowboys.
We got Team Posty.
But if they just announced that Creed was coming back for the halftime performance, to replay that song and just redo that halftime performance exactly as it was done 20 plus years ago.
They should.
One of the most amazing, ridiculously amazing, and it's aged like a fine wine halftime performances of Creed there in that game. I can't even tell you who won that Thanksgiving game, but I can tell you Creed won halftime.
That was during the 5-11 Cowboy era, so I would imagine it wasn't
I think
the Cowboys.
Parcells was possibly the coach then, or
Oh, if it was
Campo.
Parcells, that's legit. If it's Campo, we probably lost.
I think it was one of them.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I could feel even better about this.
Chiefs favored 3.5, by the way.
Chiefs. We said last week. I said confidently that the Cowboys were gonna go on a run. I kind of was talking Nick into it. I still believe in it. The Cowboys are gonna go on a run. They have a defense. You heard it here first from Nick, the Cowboy homer, that's now in the top third of the league. Jerry Jones, you heard me ask the question, executive of the year. Is he pulling this off? I think the Cowboys can find a way to get the win. It's Mahomes, so they won't stomp him because Mahomes,
No.
he's always in the game until the clock. Doesn't matter how big a lead you got. until there's triple zeros at the end of the fourth quarter. He's in the game. Cowboys win.
What you got, Patrick?
Executive of the year. So you create a problem, and
Yeah.
then you fix it.
Right.
And then you get an award for it.
Well, it's fixing it for the future too.
It's like in
But
Avengers
it is
Age
for
of
the year.
Ultron,
He's kind of
when
right.
Tony Stark created Ultron and then defeated Ultron. Should he have gotten any credit for that?
Well, he
Well,
beat
he
him.
created the problem, and then he fixed it. If he just didn't create the problem, then that would have been a better. Am I making sense here?
You're making a lot.
All I
of
heard was
sense.
Jerry Jones's Tony Stark's, and I like it. I like it.
No,
So-
you're making a lot of sense, especially because Jerry Jones just a few weeks ago was talking about how oil somewhere in some hole somewhere was far more important. That's why he was distracted. But the Cowboys defense somehow, some way, Jerry stumbled into finding a way that they are better than they were when they have more pieces now than when they had Micah.
This is going to blow your mind, but I actually think he had a vision on getting these defensive tackles in here, and I'm not joking.
Well, he
Like,
did in the offseason. He tried to trade Micah for Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, and I think he got tired of being run on game after game after game, and he wanted to actually get the pass rush from the defensive tackle position, which is, I think, the better angle to actually get your pass rush from, because it is so hard for a quarterback to shake that off. You could shake off a defensive end. You can find blocking schemes to actually help you out. It's nearly impossible when you have a defensive tackle right in front of your face and causing you issues right then and there in less than 2 seconds. That's where the modern day pass rush is going to be coming from. And I think Jerry Jones went ahead of it and actually got the defensive tackles to actually pull that off. And that's Patrick Mahomes' specific weakness, too.
Jerry loves to zig when others are zagging. No one knows more about football than Jerry.
I've surprisingly shocked me. But other than the executive assistant, so you don't agree with that, Patrick, what are you thinking on the game?
I am going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs on this one.
Well, you're more than welcome to get off the show now.
Well, again, you guys know more of the X's and O's than I do, but one thing I know about Cowboys football is they pull off what they did on Sunday. They are not going to do that 2 weeks in a row. It's going to be bad. It's going to be a goose egg against like 50 points. I'm sorry. Or it will be some heartbreaking thing where you're up 21-0 and then they come back at you.
I mean, the Chiefs could do that. It's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But
I'm going with the
as a Texans fan, you know all about that from the Bill O'Brien days when they had them. They had the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I know even when they were up 28-0 in the first quarter, I was like, they're going to find a way.
And they did.
Yeah.
And now Bill O'Brien's the head coach in Boston College.
Crazy. But yeah, well, I'm going the Dallas Cowboys. Let's ride the hot hand. I said all that about defensive tackles. I think Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams are going to give him a hard time. Odigizou is going to get a couple sacks in there as well. I think Mahomes is going to be running all over the map. He's still going to have a Mahomes game. He should be able to keep him in it. But I just think the Cowboys offense can cook against pretty much any defense in the league at their home stadium. So I hate to disappoint you, Patrick, but we are actually going to do it back to back again. Okay. It's going to happen. It's a Thanksgiving game. That's our advantage. We got Post Malone over there. I'm going to enjoy some turkey and enjoy a win as well. Just sleeping off a Cowboy victory as a turkey runs through my body and some beers, of course. But
Of course.
that's who I'm picking.
So then that leads us to the Sunday noon game. We've referenced it a few times already. It is crucial for both Patrick's Texans and our Indianapolis Colts.
That's
I say
right.
our because they're the team of the pod.
Team of the pod.
We've been massive fans of them for all of 13, 14 weeks now.
Huge fan. Lifelong fan since 2025.
Yep, exactly. So, Nick, we'll start with you. Do the Colts hold off the Texans at home?
No, they don't. they don't. I think
Is this the start of the downfall?
think the Texans are looking really good. That defense is looking fine out there. Now, the Colts defense is legit, and going against the backup quarterback, who's it going to be? Is it going to be C.J. Stroud or is it going to be Davis Mills?
They do think it's going to be C.J. Stroud, but he's going to have to knock some rust off.
Yeah, well, okay.
Let's see. I mean, this is a Monday, so we've got lots of time.
Yeah, they should have
Let's pull
Mills
up.
just warmed up.
Well, Mills is warmed up. All right, So it looks like, oh, it actually might be Mills. C.J. Stroud, as of 2:30 today, is still in concussion protocol. So does that affect your pick?
You picked the Colts? Oh,
haven't
no,
picked-
I
I
haven't
haven't
even picked
picked
yet. I'm going to go with the Texans. I think the Texans are going to get that victory still. I just think that defense is not going to get
You
not
think
let.
they're motivated after the loss, not dejected?
Yeah, very motivated after that. Or
Sorry, no, they won. They had a big win.
a huge win. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say. No. Yeah. But I just think that defense, I saw it firsthand on that Thursday night game. Not firsthand. I was watching on TV, I guess. But I saw it and I was just going, yeah, this is a legit defense. And they're by far, I think, the best defense in the league right now. So, yeah, I think they're going to give them a hard time. Colt division game. And I don't actually know the spread. Did you get the spread?
Oh, the spread according to ESPN Bet, which, yes, even though DraftKings and ESPN have a deal, ESPN Bet still kind of sort of exists. It is Indy by 4.5.
Indy by 4.5. Well, I would say bet the money line on the Colts and on the Texans to pull it off.
Patrick, what do you think?
Well, I'm going with the Texans because I'm thinking with my heart. But
We do that a lot here on this podcast.
Exactly. No. You know, the Texans coming off a pretty exciting win. The Colts coming off a frustrating loss. You know, I think Texans have the momentum going. They're probably going to have Davis Mills starting, as we just found out, which is basically
Okay.
all we need is a Davis Mills starting. Because with the defense we have, we just need a guy that doesn't make mistakes. And the Colts are going to be on their heels the whole game. That's right.
Yeah.
Words? Okay.
Yeah.
Because that defense is going to have.
Are you going to say they might lose a horseshoe or
Ah!
two?
No, Jones is going to be scrambling. If Allen was sacked 8 times, put Jones down for 10, 20, 30 sacks. You know,
Whoa.
30 sacks.
But no, because they're going to have great field position the whole game. Mills doesn't have to. He's going to have like 190 yards, but we're going to score like 40 points. You know, it's going to be.
It's going to be pretty impressive.
Gotcha. That makes sense. I hear it. I've got the Colts in this one.
Okay.
I've got the Colts. I think the uncertainty at quarterback, even if C.J. Stroud goes, he's going to have a lot of game rust because he won't even have a full week of practice.
I'd actually pick in the Texans. I'd prefer Davis Mills to start. I'll be honest. Weirdly. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I almost made a joke and said it was not a joke I should make. So I didn't make it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you post pod. And then I think Jonathan Taylor is going to bounce back. I don't think Danny Dimes is going to have a big game, but I think the Colts are deep enough. They're going to do just enough. I think maybe we see a Sauce Gardner pick 6.
Okay.
But
That's a possibility.
I think the Colts can get this done because they have to.
They have to win, but so do the Texans.
Their season, honestly, it's weird because they've only lost 3 times and they're 3 seed right now in the AFC. But their playoffs start this week because they lost to Kansas City. Their playoffs start this week because they have to find a way to go 3-3, 2-4 or worse. You lose the division, you might fall out of the playoffs depending what the Chargers do. Colts playoffs start this week. They got to win.
All right. Well, so it's looking like finally we are differing for the last 2 weeks. We have not had a difference. So this is our big difference. We gotta keep an eye on that one, Texans and Colts. So what's the last game?
So the last game, Monday night, Monday. The Pats have had a surprising amount of national games this year. They've had a Thursday night prime time. Now they get a Monday nighter. That's awesome. But as we've talked about in the pod, 2 starting offensive linemen are down, and the New York Football Giants are coming to town. Jackson Dart's coming to town. Jalen Carter's coming to town. Kayvon Thibodeau is coming to town.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Kafka, who wants a full-time job, is coming to town.
They're all in the same plane.
So I'm going to lead off here on this one. This is a game the Pats should win. On paper, the Pats should win it. They're favored by 7.5 for a reason. But when you look at that Bengals game, losing those key players, losing their special teams ace in Brendan Schooler, and then the Pats defense struggled. They really struggled against the Bengals. Now the Bengals have a very good offense, even with not having Burrows starting. They have a very good offense. I mean, they've got Flacco is a veteran, and they've got some good receivers. Even without Chase, they still have enough weapons. So the Bengals gave them a run. I thought it was going to be a close game, but you got Jackson Dart coming in on prime time, looking to make sure that Danny DeVito is sitting and crying over in a corner as the third stringer for the Patriots.
I don't.
Danny DeVito.
Tommy DeVito, Danny DeVito, sort of the same
It's his
thing,
cousin,
sort of
actually.
a lot different. But I think this is, again, of course, I want to be wrong. I think the Pats lose this one.
Pats actually lose this one.
I
Favored
think-
7.5.
I understand they're favored 7.5. I think if Jackson Dart's playing, I think he finds enough magic to get to 24 to 30 points. Because just looking at how our defense is doing, and the offense, I don't know if they can score that many with the holes that they have in the offensive line. Now, granted, unlike last year, the Pats have a true offensive coordinator this year. There's no Alex Van Pelt calling the plays. All right,
Scott Van Pelt's brother.
Yeah.
No.
It is but Alex Van Pelt, a longtime Buffalo Bills quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostly as a backup. But it is he did well when he was with the Browns, but did not do well last year with the Patriots. It is Josh McDaniels, so McDaniels can scheme up an offense that can be successful behind a patchy line. If anyone can do it, he can. Drake May showed he's got he hung in there this week after a rough start. The Pats can do it. They're so young. There's going to be a game or two along the way. I've said this, that they're going to drop that they shouldn't. I think this is one of them.
What you got, Pat? Pat the Patriot?
I'm going to pick the Patriots only because it's the New York Giants. That's what they do. They lose, and this year the New York Patriots, what they do is win, and the Patriots are at home. It's going to be a Monday night primetime game. I feel like that's just
Crowd is going to be hype.
crowd's going to be hyped. I like where the Giants are going. I think they're going to be a good team in the future. This is just clearly not their year. They got some injuries and
A bad coach.
just a bad coach. And yeah. So they had to make some changes. But I think if you're a Patriots fan, look out for the. If you're a Cowboys fan, look out for the Giants in the future because.
Look where, I don't care.
But no. I think this is going to be the Patriots are going to run away with this one. I think on Tuesday we'll be saying, "Oh, the Patriots won by 10, but it was not as close as the score."
Well, Patrick,
that old classic Jim.
Patrick, I truly hope you're right. If Dayball was still the coach, I would be picking the Patriots.
I don't
But
think
Kafka-
Kafka's that much better. He
Kafka's
runs the offense.
Kafka's been a finalist the last couple of years for several jobs. He's coaching for his future.
I don't
and
know
he's,
why.
And he's got Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart wins in spite of their offensive coordinators. He was the offensive coordinator, now the head coach. Yeah.
Plus, the Patriots have a really good history against the Giants, especially. In
Oh,
most primetime
geez.
games.
Okay, we would.
So-
You're just
I think that record is that.
So-
Will continue.
so you're making Patriots fans and Cowboy fans angry now. Good job,
Yeah,
Patrick.
it is odd that we, something came up both of those years, and they just had to hand the Giants those 2 Super Bowls without them being played. I don't really know what went down, but it's odd.
Yeah, well, the NFC East is a tough division, too.
It is
including,
very tough.
it's not easy. It's not meant for everyone,
There's a reason why there's been a different division winner for 15 years straight.
Yeah. It's not because there wasn't, one consistent good team. It's because we're all good teams.
No,
every single
legitimate.
one of them. Yeah.
Arguably the SEC of the NFL.
Yeah, now we're talking. But Patriots being favored 7.5. I get the offensive line woes. It's going to be a train wreck, I think, on that side. They're going to be able to get some sacks big time with the
And the Pats got sacked a lot when they
Giants.
had a healthy line.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little shaky there. I would not take the 7.5 by all means. I would not take the 7.5. I think the Giants are sneaky good compared to what Vegas is seeing. Although Vegas knows more than we do, so maybe they see something that we just don't understand. But yeah, the Patriots are going to win this game. I don't know how you're giving up on Vrabel's defense because they're going to contain them and stop them.
They had a very hard time with Joe Flacco.
Hey, Joe, that's a serious offense, though. You got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
It certainly is. This
Better than
Giants
this one.
defense Giants offense is a lot worse.
And
but
boring,
like I
too.
said, there's the Pats are way ahead of schedule here.
Yeah.
I want them to win this game. My heart says, of course, the Pats are going to win. What? But my head said, like, I was this close to picking the Bengals last week. We saw that. We saw me hemming and hawing on the pod. This one is prime. And if we look at the rest of the Pats schedule, because why not?
Prime you think there's a possibility of a high disappointment there. I don't see it. I think the Patriots should be able to get them. I just don't think the Giants are that good, and you're just letting them get in your head. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Pats still have control of this division. They've got this Giants game, then they have a bye week, and then then the Bills come to town for what's probably going to decide the division. Because if the Pats can sweep them, it's over. But there's a good chance if the Pats have now lost 2 in a row, then they got to go to Baltimore. But then they have 2 games they should win in the Jets and the Dolphins to finish. So you're looking at a chance the Pats could go anywhere between 2-3 and 5-0 to finish the season.
All right. Well, I think this is going to be a big game for them, and I am glad we have differences now because we got the Colts and Texans, where I got the Texans, you got the Colts, and now I got the Patriots versus you got the Giants. So there is a chance I could take that 2-point lead there.
I hope you win the week because of the Pats game.
Yeah.
A special guest coming in.
Right. We're shutting it down anyway.
Yeah, we are shutting it down.
Yeah. But Rob, do you want to go ahead and start plugging away?
Yeah, so thank you all. If you're still listening to us now and you haven't subscribed, my goodness, what are you doing? Click that like button, then click the subscribe button, and then click the share button and share it on your socials, share it with your friends. We're well over 1,000 subs now. We're chasing 2,000 subscribers. We'd love to hit that before the playoffs. Get some more friends on the train. We're on YouTube at the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. If you've seen our beautiful faces, you've already found us. Good job. Subscribe. We're also on Spotify as well, the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Great to listen that way if you're listening in the car as you're bouncing around doing things, if you need to use your phone, because YouTube does like all the attention on your phone. It doesn't like to give up attention all the time. You can also find us on TikTok, Nick and Rob Homer Hour, and on Instagram as well. And you guessed it, Nick and Rob Homer Hour.
Can I throw out just a challenge to you boys?
What you got?
Since this is a Colts podcast, by the end of this NFL season, I want you guys to have more subscribers than Jonathan Taylor has rushing yards.
I love that.
Can you make
That-
that happen?
I think we're already doing it, though.
We're ahead right now,
Okay.
but not by much.
Throw it out there. Make it happen.
Because Taylor is
I like
the
it.
one running back over 1,000 so far this year. We'll see if he can make a push towards 2. It's a race to 2, us versus Taylor.
Either way, we win. So we either have Jonathan Taylor doing really well, or we end up getting the subscriptions. So, yeah. Well, Patrick, definitely thank you for being on the show. It's always a pleasure having you, coming up with the good idea there.
The good idea. And then also, it was perfect timing to get some Texans perspective.
And anytime you want to watch a Cowboys game again with me, just let me know, man. It should be all right. Oh, yeah, we are actually going to a game. Yes,
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
We're
we're
going
gonna
to
go to a
the
game, that's
Minnesota Vikings Sunday night game. So I'll let you guys know how that went. For now, well, guys, we'll see you next time.